Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you have a smart device on you right now, would you please raise your hand? Now, as you look around the room, you'll see that nearly everyone in here has a device with them. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm even asking you this, as this is no shocker. Smart devices are so highly integrated into our daily lives. We are constantly checking them. In fact, the average person spends around 4 hours a day on their device. Now, out of that time, 50% of that goes towards these social media sites alone: Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Now, I'm not here to tell you to spend less time on your devices, and I'm not even here to tell you to stop using social media. But our hours spent scrolling through social media, the videos we click on, the comments we share, the posts we like, they contribute to something that goes beyond just entertainment. Our likes, our views, and who we follow empowers many individuals with the ability to shape, alter, influence our world on a global, limitless scale. I'm talking about social media influencers. Social media influencers, well, what are they? The criteria for being a social media influencer is actually quite simple. All you need to do is to have a large following on your social media platforms. That's it. Now, social media influencers are prevalent on every and all social media platforms, but the dominating platforms are Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, YouTube, and now TikTok. Anyone can be a social media influencer, whether you're rich or poor, old or young, educated or not. And that's one reason why this job is so appealing. Fueled by hard work and passion, you can build a following that will enable you to change the world. And people are starting to see the impact these influencers are having on the world, which is why people are actually pursuing this as a career. In fact, a survey out of 2,000 people aged 13 to 38, 54% of them said that they would choose to be a social media influencer if they were given that opportunity. You see, as a social media influencer, you have the opportunity to share with the world your thoughts, your views, your opinions, your creativity. After studying the various effects of social media influencers, I've discovered influencers play a critical role in changing our global culture, our thinking, and our economics. You see, influencers, they're not just posting entertainment, but they're leading conversations that are shaping our global culture. Unlike models you see in magazines or on the runways, influencers post beauty and fashion content that is typically realistic and achievable by their average viewer, making them the most effective trendsetters. And because social media is so widely used all around the world, this is leading to trends that are appreciated from all over the world. For example, Korean skincare. Now Korean skincare is extremely popular in the US and Western countries because Korean influencers have been posting these tips and tricks that they have on social media. But influencers are also shaping our perceptions of body image and beauty standards. As influencers post their fitness and beauty routines, they're defining beauty. And they're typically toned and perfect physiques. People think that that's actually causing higher rates of anxiety, depression, and problems like anorexia and body dysmorphia. And the public is now starting to notice these effects that influencers are having on people's beauty perspectives and body images. In fact, social media platforms like Instagram are being criticized for not restricting the posts that these influencers are sharing with the world. Going deeper, influencers are leading raw and controversial discussions on today's hot topics, from racism, sexism, LGBTQ+ discrimination, and sexual harassment, to mental awareness. To bring about changes in these areas, we first need to have conversations, and that's what these influencers are doing. They are leading the world in vulnerability and inviting us to join them as they share their stories and struggles. In the realm of politics, these influencers have impassioned populations, evoking political action. In fact, just this past Wednesday, Moroccan social media influencer Mohamed Sakaki, whose YouTube videos on average get 100,000 views, posted a video where he criticized the King Mohammed VI's rule, and at the same time, he told his fellow citizens off for not standing up when the government was harassing them and taking away their civil liberties. And his video was so powerful that his own influence actually backfired on him. His followers took action as he desired, but it led to him being arrested for criticizing the king. Another good example, Greta Thunberg, the 16-year-old Swedish climate activist, has led mass protests around the world advocating for environmental reform. Now, her career started when a photo of her went viral, where she was protesting in front of Swedish Parliament. After that, her hashtag Fridays for Future also went viral. Now, Thunberg's support on social media gave her the opportunity to speak just this last September at the UN Climate Conference. During this week of her speech, millions of people gathered around the world in support for her. Today, on Instagram, Thunberg has 8.3 million followers that she is constantly sharing and promoting climate changes around the climate crisis. Now think about that. She has as many followers as the population of New York City in 2018, and she is only a teenager. But not only this, public citizens are not the only ones noticing the power of these influencers. In fact, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is now hiring social media influencers to improve their image. Influencers also play a role in our economies, as they are redefining market and advertising. As of right now, the influencing market is worth around $8 billion US, but it's expected to be worth $15 billion by 2022. And this is because 80% of marketers find that influencer marketing is more effective than any other brand method. Additionally, 60% of marketers believe that the customers that are brought over to them by influencers are way better than any other customers they receive. Besides more loyal customers, businesses are also finding that they're getting a higher return of investment, as for every dollar they spend, they earn $6.50. And even beyond the partnerships, influencers are also contributing to the economy by creating their own businesses, from selling sweaters and merchandise to writing books and creating podcasts. These are not only additional forms of income for them, but they're also providing jobs via working as a team member or in the manufacturing. So the real question, how much are these influencers actually making? Well, micro-influencers who have an audience of about 1,000 to 100,000 followers typically make anywhere between $40,000 to $100,000 a year, while some of the most successful influencers can make upwards of $22 million a year. Ultimately, however, an influencer's paycheck is determined by the size of their audience and how many people interact with their posts. Now, influencers are very intentional with every single post. They always have a motive, whether it's to entertain, to persuade, or to aid you. To convey these messages, influencers have to be posting regular, high-quality content that will not only please their current following, but will be so enticing that it will bring in new followers. Sounds easy, right? But because an influencer's posts are so highly thought out and purposeful, influencers have to work to create content that is in line with their brand, while also branching out to diversify their content to gain a wider audience. Alicia Marie, a YouTuber model, and interviewed other influencers like herself, and shared the logistics between how influencers create their posts. She said that behind every influencer is a team of photographers, writers, publicists, videographers, agents, stylists, and so many more. Now, the job of planning and creating and posting quality content is very difficult because they have to find a way to execute their intention and to get people to do what they want. So Shay Mitchell, a YouTuber and Instagram model, as well as an actress, says that she takes up to 2 weeks to shoot content for one video and can take up to 5,000 shots before finding an Instagram photo that she thinks is worthy of posting. Now, because there's so much purpose and intentionality behind every post, influencers spend hours, days, weeks even, perfecting their work. Rylan Adams, a YouTuber and producer, says that he spends 3 to 4 full days editing alone. These influencers are investing significant time and money in creating productions that sometimes only result in a short video or a single post. Yet those posts have the power to influence us, and we've seen it happen so many times before. In your 2-second scroll, you can be seeing weeks' worth of work. Now, influencing is a business, and they do look at the analytics. They know who clicks, how long they click for, and what the viewers like. And they know all of this in an attempt to gain more influence. After all, we've seen influence is power. Now, scrolling through Instagram, it may seem that this isn't a real job because it doesn't require as much work. But Lily Singh, a YouTuber and now a TV show host, challenges her critics, saying that if you honestly think it's easy, try it. So that's what I did. I gave myself 1 month to create a mini comedic movie that I'd post on YouTube. Now, my purpose was to share how influencers are so influential and to share with my audience just the power they hold. I spent 3 days planning out the logistics. How was I going to get my point across? Then I spent the next week putting together my team, finding props, and writing a script. Now, during that time, I was also active on my social media, posting similar content to other influencers I'd seen. Now, following that, I spent 72 hours filming and revising my storyline. It was during my final week, editing week, that the worst possible thing happened. You see, the device that I had filmed all of my footage on, I was unable to access it due to a technical error. Weeks' worth of work was lost, with no content to show for it. Lily Singh was right. Being an influencer is hard. Unlike me, influencers have mastered the technical logistics behind creating content. But how have influencers been able to influence our culture and our thoughts and our economy so heavily? John C. Maxwell defines leadership as this: influence, nothing more and nothing less. And as I researched influencers, I realized that influencers have seamlessly mastered the core fundamentals of successful leadership, which has allowed them to influence the world. In Maxwell's book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, he shares 3 key traits, the 3 C's, that an excellent leader has: good character, connectability, and competency. And the reality is, successful leaders have all 3. Character-wise, influencers display positive and authentic character. They seem to be genuinely good humans. Building an image of being kind and good-hearted and honest people, an influencer's content is always helpful in some way, whether it's providing you entertainment, helpful advice, or tips or tricks, making it seem like influencers actually care about you. Influencers try to win over their viewers also by doing giveaways or donating to charities, attempting to make their audience believe that they are actually kind and generous with their success. They are also providing a sense of integrity by providing honest reviews of the products they are using. Now, obviously, there are some exceptions. Sometimes influencers make poor decisions. In 2017, YouTuber Logan Paul posted a video while he was on a trip in Japan. There, he was visiting a forest where people typically commit suicide, and while he was there, he filmed a man's body and made horrible jokes about suicide. Though his viewers were outraged, he quickly apologized and pledged to donate $1 million to the National Suicide Prevention Association. As Logan Paul did, when character lapses do occur, influencers are quick to apologize and to try to resolve the problem, to restore their image. Because we believe influencers are good people, we are willing and more naturally inclined to follow them, making it easier for them to change the world. Beyond this, influencers are champions at connecting with their followers. They do this by building connections with their audience, from behind-the-scenes stories, shared stories, experiences, all in an attempt to build a connection via empathy and emotional buy-in. For example, a teen mom YouTuber will have a following of other teen moms who can relate with their story, while also gaining a following of people who are interested in their story because it's so different than their own. Connection is critical in leading. If influencers do not build a trusting bond with their viewers will not follow them and will not enact the change they desire. These authentic and genuine interactions keep their audience engaged and invested in the lives of their influencer. Influencers also spend a lot of time trying to personally engage with their followers, whether it be through live streams, Q&As, or meet and greets. making the audience feel special and a part of the influencer's life and journey. And this is a key to building strong connections. Lastly, influencers are extremely competent. With their passion and hard work, these influencers are shaping our culture, our thoughts, and our economy with their well-executed and intentional posts. The fact that influencers are gaining the support of millions globally and are leading the world in mass movements shows that influencers are competent leaders. As influencers go in competency, so does their validity and credibility that will inspire their viewers to follow them. So why does all of this matter? Maxwell states that influence must be earned, and these social medias are working to do just that. We have established that influencers are interested in more than just entertainment. They are a powerful force of cultural, political, and economical change. But the root of their power comes from us, the social media users. Influencers are intentional with their actions, the things they are selling, what they are talking about, and the ideas they find worth spreading. They are starting the global conversations. But your engagement with social media influencers determines their capacity to influence the world. As social media users, you need to understand the power you hold. Without your engagement, these influencers' voice are diminished and their impact is near non-existent. The social medias you follow ultimately alter you and your world. Every influencer you endorse by following, liking, commenting, and sharing their posts enlarges their audience. So remember, it's never just a follow, and it's never just a like. Thank you.